Hey you guys, this is Deed to the Land. Today we're going to be coming at you with a product review of a couple buildings that we printed by 3DP4U from their medieval town set. We have the rights to print these for you. Otherwise, you can look on Kickstarter if you wish to purchase the STLs and print them for yourself. These buildings are printed at 28 millimeter scale, so this is going to be showing them at 100%, so you can see what size they are, how they look compared to your average miniatures, and kind of how they play and look on the table. Today we're going to be looking at the Apothecary Tower, which you see in front of you, and we're going to be looking at the Cherrybrook Manor. Now we painted these up really fast to help populate our city set, which you can see around it. And we want to just take an in-depth look into it so you can see how it looks on your game table when it's painted. Now 3DP4U, their medieval town sets, they're doing monthly Kickstarters. So they're putting out new building sets to completely fill their range of medieval town. And it's really cool stuff. So I'm going to give you a quick spin so you can see what this building looks like. And then we're going to dive into the Cherrybrook Manor. And then we're going to look at both of them, see what the parts are, see them with miniatures around them. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how we printed them and how I painted them, because we did these really fast and they turned out pretty cool. So here's the Apothecary Tower. And I'm going to give this thing a slow spin. So you can see it's got this cool balcony. It has this great offset tower, which gives it a unique look. Has all these ruined tiles on the roof. I love this little park bench that it has built into it. Park bench. But there you go. It's got this built-in greenery on it, vines growing up it. Really cool building. All right, that's the Apothecary Tower, quick spin. And then we're going to dive into the Cherrybrook Manor and then take a deep look at both of them with some miniatures so you can get a perspective of what these would look like if you ordered them printed from us, or if you want to go to 3DP4U and do it yourself. Okay, now that we got the Apothecary Tower out of the way, we're going to be taking a look at the Cherrybrook Manor. So this is also printed at 100%, so meant for 28 millimeter. Neat building. Also has these beautiful vines and, shrubbery built into them. And again, really cool. I like the way these look. They have such unique shapes to all their buildings. Lots of character. And so that's just a quick spin around of the Cherrybrook Manor. And like I said, now what we're going to do is we're going to dive into each one of these buildings, show you the parts, show you them with some of your average miniatures in them, like D&D minis. And so you can just get an idea of what they look like printed and in play. Okay, so since we already got it on the table, we're going to take a quick look at the Cherrybrook Manor. So again, to be clear, these are from 3DP4U from their medieval town set, which they are currently releasing new files monthly to continue to build out their medieval town set, I guess you'd call it. But and it's a great value. It's very reasonable. It's on Kickstarter, and the stuff that you get so far, from what we've seen, is fantastic. Printed all this without supports, and really neat. So here we go. This is the front of the Cherrybrook Manor. So again, it's got these great built-in shrubs and some vine work on it. The vine work on these, it stands really tall off of, there you go, you can see how tall it is, which makes it very easy to paint. And it makes it easy for it to stand off of the model. And because, all this stuff, it's not even so much about realism as it is about when you're standing above a table and you want things to stand out and pop. And that's just one thing that I at first thought, wow, that's huge. And then I painted it and was like, oh no, you know what? That's really smart. It makes it easy. These were painted with a green and then just a little bit of a yellow highlight. And everything was oil washed and sealed. And it was super simple. One of the things that I've found that's been handy is printing in colors. So for these, I was like, all right, there's a lot of stonework on them. So what we did is we printed the two levels here in gray. So then I didn't have to paint much of this. And then all I had to do was paint the brown. And for the roof, I printed it in brown and then just went in. And then you just color match when you're going over it and highlighting or whatever. With stonework, I usually do a lot more levels of gray so that after you do your oil wash, you can take your cleaning solvent and then bring a lot of those colors back up. But I wanted to get these done quick. And I mean like quick as in I painted these buildings in a day. A bunch of them, just sat down and banged them out. And then the roofs, same thing. You just print or paint them in green, do some highlights, oil wash it, and then bring all the bright colors back up. And I tell you what, they turned out great, really simple to do. So here we go. We're gonna show you with some miniatures. So here's some Zombicide miniatures. Let's see if I get that in frame for you. Here's some Zombicide miniatures. Here are some Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. And so this is at 100% 28 millimeter scale. And so what you can see with this building for sure, and I think with the other ones, is you're looking more at practical sizing than you are dollhouse sizing. I don't know if you guys have seen, but some buildings you can print and they're super elaborate and they're huge and they're meant for playing where you actually want to take the story inside the building. I think with this range, you can obviously size them up, but at 100%, you're looking more at practical buildings that you can set on a table, fill out a city, but they're not so large that, it's, I guess, ridiculous. When you get to the dollhouse level, you're really focusing more on a single building than you are on a whole table. So you can tell for sure when you look at the width of this, it's pretty narrow, but that actually helps because for this city set where we have all these foundations, it allows us to place this building up on a foundation and it's playable without it being massive. So here's the parts that it comes with. It's 3 levels, pretty straightforward. Roof, first level, second level. And so taking a look inside, it's a pretty narrow building. We'll take and put a miniature in there and give you a look. It's really meant for, like I said, practical play. And the upstairs, you've got this cool railing, very nicely detailed on the inside, but very easy to paint very quickly. And get it on the table, which is often what we care about. And then the roofs, there's no detail inside the roof. It's just a big piece, but it works. And so this is the Cherrybrook Manor. So this is what it looks like. Again, 28 millimeter scale, printed at 100%. So you can imagine if you wanted to print it at 32% or 32 millimeter, excuse me, that's more like 115%. So a little bit larger, but even then still very much designed, in my opinion, to be a practical building, not a dollhouse. All right, so that is the Cherrybrook Manor. All right, now we're going to take a closer look at the Apothecary Tower. So again, printed at 100%, 28 millimeter scale. And same thing, we printed this in colors. So this building's larger. I won't be able to get, for close-ups, I won't be able to get the whole thing in there, but that's cool because that means it's a pretty elaborate, nice building. But the first 3 levels, because they have so much stonework in them, we printed them in gray. And again, not a ton of dry brushing, really picked out some stones and just wanted to get this thing on the table, but it looks cool. But printed it in gray, so all I had to do was go back with browns and knock out the woodwork, a little bit of highlighting to kind of give it some character, make it pop a little more, and then obviously paint the roof tiles. But here you go. So again, you've got a Zombicide miniature, you've got some Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. So this gives you an idea of what it looks like. I'm going to spin it. The shutters are neat. I like how there's missing some tiles. It's a great look. There's vine work. There's a balcony up here. It's not too huge, but it's pretty narrow. It's just about big enough to jam a miniature in there. One thing I love is, and I don't know why I love it so much, I love this built-in bench. So there's something about when you put all these buildings together and you have little narrow alleyways and stuff like that, and you've got something like this that's like, it's just an added touch that makes it feel like, yeah, someone would probably sit there or wait to stab you, however that works. So these great lights, you're gonna get a lot of glare off the light, but I like interestingly, I like a little satin finish to the buildings that I do. I know a lot of people go with dead matte, and I don't know what it is. When I'm sitting there and staring down at a table, I kind of want things to feel like light is naturally bouncing off them and they have a little pop to them. And I've found that finishing them with that real light satin finish gives it more of that pop. But of course, as I'm trying to film it, you're gonna get a little bit of a sheen. Okay, so there it is. All right, so that is a quick spin around. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you the levels so you can kind of see what's inside this thing. So here we go. This has 3 rooms down below. And showing you with the miniature in there. See if I can get that on there for you. Definitely enough room, you know, to be doing a little stab and grab. But, you know, some of them are kind of more for, I don't know why you'd stick a guy in there unless you're just like, he just had to be standing there. But it does give you a playable interior. And that's kind of what the first level looks like. So again, prints without the need for supports. And this is the bottom level. This would be the first level. And I gotta say, I like this first level. It has this ladder built inside of it to go to the tower. It has these open rafters that look down into the first level. Again, it has this little, you know, balcony, which, cool, you can fit a guy in there. But lots of neat detail on the inside. It's a cool design, it's unique. But there you go, there's the first level. So then there is, now this is actually separate. The tower roof comes off. When you print these, this piece is separate. This piece, this little cover over the balcony, this is separate. And then of course you've got the main body. But I glued them together because every time I move it, the pieces go flying and are just saying, hey, break me and then print me again. So anyways, printed this in gray, painted it up, looks really nice. The tower above, it's pretty cool. You can fit a couple miniatures in there. So if you're going up to, you know, have a conversation with your wizard, I guess, that's where it happens. Or there's a lady that you know that's waiting for you. And this is another balcony like the ones in the lower levels. But I kind of found, I knew I was never going to use it. And so I simply glued this in place so I don't have to worry about it. Glued this onto the main piece. And then again, the inside of the tower is hollow, or excuse me, solid. And so nothing playable in there, but there is a little balcony. If you wanted a balcony that was a little bit larger, because this one you kind of got to squeeze the guy in there, but he fits. But again, at 32 millimeter, if you had it printed at that scale, it'd be a little bit larger balcony, maybe a little bit more usable for larger miniatures. But look at this. I like the way the stone comes out and supports the tower above. There's more of this vine on here, which anywhere that you have a chance to add more color without a ton of work to your terrain, just makes it pop, gives it more color variation. So when you're staring at a board, you're not just staring at brown and gray. So, okay, that's the tower. And then you have the tower top. Now, again, we printed this in brown because then all we had to do was go back and add in the gray for the stone and then obviously the purple for the tiles. But it made it easy just to print it in brown, do a lot of the work for us. And this prints as a separate piece, but again, we glued it on because, I mean, you maybe could shove a miniature in there. I don't know why you would. And so, you know, beautiful little metalwork on the tops. Beautiful the way you have the wood that supports the tower. So there's just a quick spin. And so that's just a quick overview of a couple of the buildings, the Cherrybrook Manor and the Apothecary Tower from 3DP4U and their medieval town Kickstarters. And so you can go on Kickstarter, obviously, or I believe My Mini Factory, not 100% sure, and you can get their stuff. But they're releasing monthly, and their buildings are cool, and they're practical, which I like. Because I have made massive buildings for, you know, I wanted my miniatures to be able to go inside of it, but they take up the entire table. So they become the centerpiece. They don't become part of a city. They're just too large. And so that's the neat thing about these. These are practical, usable buildings that allow you to fill out a city and have great gameplay. So I'm going to be throwing some pictures in here so you can see some more close-up of what it looks like with the miniatures. And I thank you for watching. Check out our other videos, and we'll be doing more product reviews. And we're working on a battle report for Zombicide, but that's a lot of work, so we're going to do it as quick as we can. We also got a request to do a little deeper dive back into the canals and maybe show how we painted them and how the resin pouring works, how that built-in dam works. And so if that's something you're interested in, leave me a comment, let me know. But thanks for watching.